everybody, my name is Sandra. Welcome back to my channel. So today I want to share my spiritual planner slash notebook with you. I'm actually just going to bring up my purchases that I made on Etsy. So these were all printables actually, except for the cover and except for my discs, of course. I want to call it a planner, but it's not really a planner. It's a spiritual reference book, if you would call it that. I guess I'd call it my grimoire, if that's a thing. So for those of you who have kind of paid attention and picked up on bits and pieces when I mention it in my videos, I don't really have a religion. So my family grew up as Christian, not Catholic, but like, I'm not sure if it's Protestant or whatever. My mom and my grandmother, my mom doesn't practice anything, but she still considers herself like, you know, Christian, and my grandma does. And my dad's side, they were, I guess they were Christian too, but they never like had religion, or they never went to church, because he grew up in the 30s and they just believed in hard work, and they never had time for, you know, church or anything like that. So anyway, my life growing up, we never went to church. My best friend, whenever I went to visit her, her parents made me go with them, which is fine. Like, I always respect other people's religions and religious beliefs. And so anyway, I kind of I've been moving towards more of a natural way of life, of living. I respect nature, so I love growing plants and flowers and herbs in my garden, and especially wildflowers if I can get my hands on some seeds. And so I kind of respect the universe train of thought, I guess. Like, I believe in manifestation and affirmations, and, you know, what you do to others will come back on you, and just like karma, I guess. I don't really know if I believe in reincarnation, but I don't really practice religion, but I do spiritual things that I guess would be more of a witchcraft vibe. So, you know, I have an altar. I honestly, I haven't been getting into my spiritual craft as much as I want to. There's so many things that I want to study. There's so many books I want to read. I just have been so expressly busy with my kids and my business that I struggle to find time for that. And that's part of like my self-care. I've been on a healing journey for many, many years. Last year and the year before, I did something called shadow work, all through journaling. And while that seemed to work when I was doing it, I feel like it wasn't, the book I used it wasn't helpful because it wasn't really guided. It was just these random questions with these random answers, and I didn't feel like it helped me. So I did buy a new one. Maybe I'll share that with you in this video. So I've got a couple of books here that I pulled. The shadow workbook that I just recently picked up is from Rachel Porter. I have not had a chance to look at this, so again, I can't tell you how good it is, but it is a workbook that you can use as a reference book and journal in a different book, or you can do it in here. There are like lines in here that you can use. So I haven't had enough experience with this to recommend it, but if you do want to pick it up, I will link it down below, and you guys can see the link there for it. I do have a whole bunch of other ones. I guess this video really isn't about all of those other books. I do have a whole bunch of other books, though, that I do reference and I do read. I also picked up this little journal. So this is a leather journal. It's kind of like a traveler's book, but it was a handmade journal, and it's like all these notebooks bound into this leather book. And then this is like my tried and true grimoire. I haven't really had a lot of time to write down the stuff, but I was using my glass pen to do this. So, but anyway, it's like a wraparound cover. It is a leather cover. I think it was like $40, which is not too bad for a leather book. And it's like unprocessed leather. Smells divine. And that's my like book that I write my own notes in. This is a book that I'm currently reading. So I believe in like moon magic. Like, I pay attention to the phases of the moon. I don't really do spells or anything, but I do, you know, do focused intentional work according to the phases of the moon, if that makes sense. I'm tracking my cycle against the phases of the moon, like, you know, that kind of thing. and so I'm just interested in like astrology, moon magic, specifically more psychic stuff with witchcraft, I guess, and psychic stuff. Like, so a little history. I'm actually in the process. I have to write a blog today still. I'm in the process of writing a blog on my life as an empath. So I am an empath, and I can't see auras, but I can sense energies. So if I'm feeling a certain way in someone's presence, I know that, and like if it doesn't feel right to me, I know that I need to leave. Or sometimes like there was someone once that I went to visit, and I left and I just felt so drained, and I felt so negatively drained. It's like the weirdest term for it, but that's how I felt. So I am affected deeply by other people's moods, and I can sometimes sense how they feel about me. I can sense how they feel about others. So it is a natural gift, and I have to be careful who I surround myself with. And so anyways, it's an interesting experience. I haven't had much time to do much like research into being an empath as well. I just know like my experiences and how I feel. So it's kind of part of like the whole psychic ability thing, I think. And I'm just a super sensitive person, and not sensitive. Like if somebody said something mean to me, I let that slide right off. So not sensitive in that respect, but sensitive in that I can pick up on energy from people. And it's actually quite interesting. When I do dream, which isn't often because I haven't gotten much sleep, but when I do dream, they're basically messages coming from different, I don't know if you'd call it a different realm or a different level of consciousness, I guess, I feel like. And so this is like what I want to explore. This is really what I want to make time for in my life. And I do watch, there's one, and well, I do tarot and oracle readings as well. So there is one in particular YouTube channel that I will recommend. She is amazing, and she does online, like on like YouTube, tarot readings and oracle readings. So I'll recommend her. She's the Gem Goddess. Her name is Gem. I believe that's her name. I don't know if it's her real name, but I'm going to link her channel because she's the one YouTube channel that I love. Like, I love her. The way she speaks, her messages are usually spot on, and it's amazing. So anyway, so let's get into this. I want to share this. I'm using Happy Planner extender discs, or the gold metal ones. This cover is from Jane's Agenda. It's a celestial cover. I did pick this up in my recent haul, which I can link for you because I did pick up quite a few goodies. And sorry, my bird's extra chipper right now because I let him out of his cage to get some flying time, and he is super happy right now. Okay, so this first cover, this is like the magic door. A lot of these inserts that I printed were all from, a lot of them were from one artist on Etsy. This particular, I'm trying to find it, sorry. It's going to take a little bit to try to find everything because I did order a lot from this one artist. And I call her an artist because truly her work, like, I love everything that she's done. So I believe this one is from My Life, My Plans. There's another butterfly one that I did as well. And I managed to print some on both sides, and then I also did some opposite ones, which I'll share with you after. This is a lunar calendar. I printed this and then laminated it because I knew I wanted it to be laminated. So this is from Morgana Magic Shop. I'll try to leave these down below as well so you guys can click on the links to the shops. So Morgana's Magic Shop. It is 2024, so this planner will like stay with me for next year. These I believe were from, I think I had this like huge bundle of like images, and it was more of a junk journaling thing. So this is from Natty and Moon. Yes, Natty and Moon. And then this was the starter grimoire kit from My Life, My Plans. So I've got a couple of starter grimoire kits in here. And let's just kind of page through. So, sorry, my dogs are outside because my bird, I'll open the cage maybe. I have to have my dogs outside in order to let my bird out, so she's barking because she wants back in. But anyway, so It's got some note pages. There's a lot of information in here. It's a basic witch guide. I haven't even had time to read any. I know that sounds so horrible. I'm doing this video, but it just, I want to share it. I love this. So these are all types of divination. This is all like history of witchcraft. I don't know if this is actually stuff that should be, oh, a research checklist. So this is amazing. I didn't even know what that was. I was like, what is this? These are types of divination. So I'm into like psychic types of witchcraft. But anyway, so there's so many different things here that I can't wait to start studying and like looking at. I first got into meditation before I started anything in this spiritual realm. I started with meditation. That's what I did. And then I realized how closely meditation relates to like the spiritual world and witchcraft and like all of the cool things that you can do. And anyway, these printouts are so chock full of information. There's so much information in them. There's a wheel of the year, and then all of the solstices and the holidays, or holidays if you could call them that. The moon phases, colors, the elements, some note pages. That's pretty much for contents, but more note paper. I think there's quite a bit of this actually. And that was it. Okay, so this is also from My Life, My Plans. I loved the idea of the butterfly, and then I also printed this bottle, like it looks like a magic bottle, you know, like a witchcraft magic bottle. And I did do an inspiration sticker set. It's called Herbal Magic, and it's on my website. Again, link is down below. Check it out if you haven't seen them yet. I am doing some die cuts. I'm in the process of listing them to my shop. And they've got like this beautiful sparkle overlay. So I'm going to do some of my magic ones, kind of to get ready for Halloween, but also just so you guys know that this stuff isn't just a Halloween thing for me. It's actually part of my spirituality. Okay, so then the next tab, I didn't even tell you guys. So these tabs are actually from Jane's Agenda as well. The first one is Tarot and Oracle. So I have actually been journaling my tarot and oracle readings in a separate notebook. I'm going to continue doing that until it fills up. But when I'm done, I will be writing them in here. So you can just simply print more pages when you run out. So these are the oracle pages. Again, these are all from My Life, My Plans. I'm glad that there's quite a few in here. And I do an oracle reading once every week. You could do them a lot more frequent if you wanted. Then there's a tarot journal. There was a simple one, and then there was like a more detailed one. So it gives you these quick reference cards to show different layouts that you can do. Again, My Life, My Plans. Okay, Tarot Basics. So it kind of tells you the starting of how to do a tarot reading, and then it gives you what each of the cards means. Now these are the major arcana. So I actually was reading some books. I think I talked about them, but they were like about witches, and it was like the coolest thing. If I can find the author, and I'll link the main set of books. I'll link those down below. And it really was talking about like a lot about tarot actually. Like it linked, they linked this group of witches. They linked to the tarot cards. It was really cool. I think I finished reading all of them. So here it gives you room for writing your spreads, like making tarot spreads. And then there's a deck interview, like the year ahead. There's so many different things in here. The week ahead, interpretations, and then another weekly spread. Okay, so this again was from Natty and the Moon, or Natty and Moon. This was from My Life, My Plans. This next tab is moon magic. So anything to do with moon magic, if I have like notes and journaling to do, normally I would take books and journal in my commonplace book, but because this relates specifically to spirituality, I would probably take information from here that's not already in here and write it in here, because I do have lots of note paper. At the back I have general info as the last tab, but I also have all of this extra note paper that I put in here, all of this extra note paper. So this one goes through the full moon names for each of the months. It goes through what the, the different cycles of the moon, different phases. There's new moon rituals, full moon rituals, and just all of these rituals. There's affirmations to do, how to make moon water. So there's different like ways you can make differently charged water, like if you have ocean water or rainwater, storm water, moon water. Like it's really cool. Like it's basically water that's charged by the moon. Okay, and then you've got some note and journaling pages in here. There was another insert that I wanted to purchase. It was called a moon journal. So I'm still going to purchase that and eventually put it in here. I just haven't yet. The next tab I have is candle crystals. So again, my life, my plans. So this is all candle magic. So different colors, how to cleanse your space and meditate, center and ground. Reading the flame, right? It's a form of divination. Then room for some notes. Okay, and then I also have crystal grids. So I actually don't have anything on crystals, but I do want to pick up something. Like there's lots of information on Etsy that you can find stuff like this. So like what do different crystal colors mean? What do different rocks mean? What you can use them for, how to cleanse them. So this is like how to make actual grids. I don't think I have enough crystals to make a grid, but I thought this was really cool, so I did include it. But I will be picking up some information on the crystals themselves. Speaking of, I'm going to make a little note to myself and just put it in here. Need info on crystals. And then so all I'm going to do here is add that to the top, and then I'll see it sticking out even though it's upside down. So the next tab is pendulums. Okay, and then the one thing I forgot to include in here were runes. So I added those in here. There is, I think it's an oracle deck on Amazon. So it's actually called something Art Oracle, and it's how like the oracle cards relate to art, and it's art magic, and there's a book on it too. So this is which runes. Runes are basically like drawings. Like they're basically symbols, a lot of symbolism. So I'm really excited to get into that as well because I am an artist and I love symbolism and I love drawing. Okay, and then it relates to the maiden, the mother, and the crone. And then there is a pendulum board. So this particular one I decided to laminate so I would have an actual board that I can like pull in and out at will. That's my board. And then I do have another one at the back, but it wasn't laminated, I just left it. So pendulum board type, it gives you different types. I love how this is colored, like the pastel colors in here are just so beautiful. There's a relationship, a health board, which is crazy. I didn't even know that that existed. Talks about the pendulum. You can program a new pendulum. I think that's that's not a term I would use in terms of witchcraft. I think I would call it not programming a pendulum. I think I would call it like, I don't know, cleansing it or introducing yourself to it or something, because pendulums, again, you need to read these witchcraft books. They're more of a fictional story, but they were really good. And it talks about George the pendulum. So if you guys are interested, look it down below. So you've got some note paper there, and I just wanted to show you. I do have a couple of pendulums, actually. I've got a couple of things. Maybe what I'll do is just take a picture because I think that seems to be the best way to do it. So there's a black one that's just like, it's on a chain, and it's a black crystal. And then I've got this like quartz crystal that is also on a chain, but it's got like the 7 colors of the chakra. And I think it's actually a chakra cleansing pendant, but I could be wrong. And then I've got a couple of other pendants, but they are not meant for like pendulums. So anyway, they're kind of to do with just being the crystal that they are. I've got a lot of clear quartz. I've got a couple of smoky quartz. I've got a lot of amethyst because those are the ones that I gravitate towards the most. But anyway, I've got a few crystals, and actually I've got some tarot dice too. I've got quite a few trinkets. If you guys really want to see a video on all that stuff, I can show you all of my tools that I use. And I haven't had too much time to practice, but I will show you. I do have a variety of things that I use. I use incense. I've always wanted one of those incense burners that like the smoke falls down, but I didn't buy the right incense at the time. So the next planner, or the tab anyway, is the reading one. This is also from My Life, My Plans, and I love this. So you guys know I'm already a big reader. I read books, you know, like this, and fictional books. And so this is going to be just for my witchy books, right? So I'm going to put them in here. This is like my library, only the books I keep. I'm not going to get rid of any books. And then I can put the names of the books in here. So I love this. I think it's such a good idea. You can make your own titles for the books. Okay. And then you've got like a title, author, page count, and then a little bit about what the book's about if you want. This is the reading list. Books that you want to read maybe. Whether you've read it or not. I love this so much. I almost want one for my main planner, which is perfect because I printed this in half letter. So it's pretty easy to change the settings too for all of these. And I believe My Life, My Plans comes in half letter size, and it's super easy to print front and back. Okay, and then general info. So this one is a different person on there. Let me find it. It's called Witchcraft Tools. And let me just find it. It is from, oh yeah, Morgana Magic Shop. So again, the same shop as the lunar calendar. So this is super cool. I did print it. You can print it in white, black and white, or maybe it's just white paper, or you can print it where it looks like it's old paper, like the brown stuff. And it tells you a little bit about each of the tools that you might use in practicing witchcraft. Super cool. And I do have to share, after we're done talking about this, I just have to share a couple of my experiences with you guys. So altar, and then I've got a divider. And so this is another grimoire, but this is from somebody different. This is from the Elemental Cat shop. And this is all black and white, but there's a whole bunch of a little bit of something in here, okay? It is a starter grimoire. I'll show you the first couple pages. There's the Wiccan Read. It says, I don't believe in Wicca. Like I'm not a practicing Wiccan, but I do like follow a lot of the things that comes from Wicca, I guess, because Wicca is like the religion of witchcraft. And I wouldn't call myself Wiccan. I don't believe in religion. That's just my thing. I don't really believe in religion. I believe in, you know, like I said, beauty, the earth. I believe in kind of like this is getting into like the religion aspect, but when I was young, my grandma told me that a good Christian person would be nice, would never lie, would never cheat, would never do any bad thing, right? And I think you don't need to have a religion. I think many of you can agree with me on this, that you don't need to be religious to be a good person. And that's how I believe. I believe that as long as I'm a good person, I don't believe in a heaven. I don't believe in a hell. Honestly, like I have 2 degrees. I believe more of the scientific thing. Like I do believe that energy is neither created nor destroyed. And so our energy has to go somewhere. And it is proven that, you know, humans create energy. Right? When we move, we do work, we create energy. I was a big physics person, big physics major. So just studying all that stuff, I believe in like elemental magic. I believe in like the universe. So there's a lot of things I have left to explore, and I'm so curious about everything. And I just feel like I have no time to do anything. So yeah, as my kids get older and stuff, I'll be doing more of this stuff, and I can't wait. But anyway, I'm going to page through this. If you guys want to take a look, you'll have to look on, like go to the shop and you'll have to take a look at it. But there's a whole bunch of information in there. I've got a divider here under, like, this was called general info, I believe. And then I have a whole bunch of like blank paper, grid paper I got from Amazon. I'll link that too. It was A5 punched. It wasn't, or was it punched? It might have been punched, but I had to cut it down to fit half letter. And then I've got some that I printed again from the butterfly. Or no, this was from Natty and Moon, I believe. But these ones were from My Life, My Plans. So a couple of them I laminated and a couple of them I left unlaminated. And I do have some of those just because I thought they were so pretty. I left a couple unpunched so I could put them in my Franklin because it's all half letter, right? So anyway, that concludes the kind of like looking at this book. So just a couple of my experiences that kind of got me thinking about this whole like witchcraft thing and like spirituality. So it was right after COVID. My husband and I went to our favorite place for karaoke, Franco's. At the time, they didn't have karaoke yet. So we would just go, we would have a couple drinks, we would get some nachos and just sit there and talk. This one guy, his name was John, he used to come to karaoke pre-pandemic. And he came with a friend of his, and I can't remember what he did, but he had longer hair and he like sang, and he was getting better. Like everybody gets better with practice at everything you try, right? And anyway, so he had cut all his hair off. He had become a realtor, and he might have had a drink or two, but he ended up leaving really early. But he came up to my table and started talking to me about meditation and calming your soul and the collective. And I had no idea what he was talking about until I came home. I did a little research and I thought, oh my God, this guy is a witch. And he didn't tell me that he was a witch. I assumed it, but I mean, he was talking about the collective. If you guys have heard of that, let me know in the comments, because it's very interesting to me. I didn't believe in it. I didn't agree with what he was saying, but I listened with an open mind, right? So anyway, so then I started like noticing things like on my Facebook. I would post stuff. I have friends and family that are witches, you guys. Oh my goodness. I have a cousin who lives in BC. Her name is Tara, and she has an Etsy shop herself. She makes salves and like lotions and ointments and stuff, and herbal tea blends. She is a green witch, but she says, like, now if you ask her if she is a witch, she says she is. Okay. Which is so funny. She says she's a witch. But her mom is very, very Christian, like my grandma, you know? And so at first she was very scared to like, you know, come out as a witch, but she believes along the lines more of like paganism. So she does a lot of ritual work. She collects a lot of greenery for her shop. She's in the perfect place to do that. Like she's in Vancouver, I believe around Vancouver area. So spring and fall are a lot more, it's easier to find like greenery and stuff that you can like make salves out of, and just, you know, just do all of that cool witchery stuff, green witch stuff. And I respect that so much. And anyway, so she made a tea blend, like at our last reunion. She like, it was super cool. We made a tea blend because she brought all these bags of herbs and stuff, and we did that, and it was so fun. And just to be able to be around like other people that are also like, they call themselves witches, it's amazing. Like the kind of the connection that you have with them, like it's crazy. It is crazy. I have a few people on Facebook that I found out recently that were, and my mind kind of got opened up. I was like, oh my goodness, like when did this become a thing, right? Like how did this happen? Like back in the bad times when witches were burned at the stake and stuff like that. It was like normal women, or women who would be able to heal people, like, you know, whatever. I didn't do a lot of research of that, so I don't want to go into it because I don't know too much about it. But like it would be a regular woman that could potentially be killed for that, which is ridiculous. And there's no such thing as like an evil, like, you know, like the Halloween version of an evil witch. That doesn't exist. There are people who are bad, and there are people who are good, and there's people who are in between. There's no such thing as black and white, right? And I think that like witchcraft that's celebrated today is more, you know, learning about who you are, learning about what your power is. Like everybody has power, and magic is real. It might not be real in the sense of abracadabra or Harry Potter magic, but it is real. And I think that we just fully have to open our eyes. And it's just giving me shivers talking about it. So anyway, the last encounter I had was actually last weekend when I went to Franco's again. It was a different person I talked to, and he was saying that his mom was a white witch. She was a teacher, and he considered himself a warlock. I don't really understand like they say when you're a warlock, you're a male witch. I don't like the term warlock because that does sound evil. I don't like that term. I just like when people say that they're a witch, right? Like that would be my definition. Like you're a witch, like awesome. It doesn't matter if you're male or female or whatever. So I or whatever gender, you know, your gender doesn't matter when it comes to that. I think you should just be called a witch. And so, but anyway, we got into this conversation, but we got interrupted halfway through, and I had to stop talking with him about it. But it made me so curious, and I just wanted to talk with him forever. Like, and I thought, oh my gosh, like a fellow person that kind of believes along the same things that I'm interested in getting to know and understand and explore. Like, it was just so exciting. So, I just, you know, it's weird. Like, if you know anybody, right, you start to wonder, and your eyes kind of start to open up, and you're like, wow, why did I not see this before? And it's been there all along, but you didn't know, like you didn't see, right? You can see, but you're not looking. So anyway, I just wanted to share that, and I've just kind of opened my eyes, and I've become enamored with all of this, and I'm so excited to learn more. And I hope you guys, you know, don't mind me sharing this. I know I do have a lot of people on my channel that have different beliefs, and so I hope that, you know, you don't pass any judgments just based on this. And but I'm excited to share my spiritual book with you guys. So, but that's how I set it up. And if you guys wanted to do something similar, that would be awesome. I mean, I was thinking of putting this in a Franklin binder. I was, but then I thought, well, what if I wanted to go into that Franklin binder for my planner, right? Because my planner is something I carry around with me all the time, and I need it to be sturdy and something that closes. This doesn't need to be like that sturdy. I can keep it open because it stays on my desk, it stays on my bookshelf. I don't need it to take it with me anywhere. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this kind of, you know, gets your mind going. I hope it kind of makes you curious as to like what's out there, or do I have friends or family that are also believe things that you might not think that they do. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new, please subscribe, click on the bell button, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, friends.